Hello, this is Kim with Crochet with Kim. I am so excited. We're continuing on with our bunny rabbit. I'm hoping that you're enjoying this video and hoping that you're able to see the project come together slowly but surely. I am so excited because we're a little further along. We're getting ready to capture the other ear and the eye and the nose, and pretty soon we'll be able to finish out this project. Go grab your hook. I have an H hook. Grab your yarn. I have white, periwinkle, black, gray, and pink. And let's go ahead and get started. Now we stopped on row 38, which was coming back down on the right side of the work. We're getting ready to go back up into the wrong side of the work. So we need 1, 2, 3, and 4. We need 4 periwinkles. Again, I like to slip stitch my way up. You can chain 3 and go under that post from the previous box, from the previous row, but I like to do a slip stitch clear up until I get to that post, and I chain 2. You chain 3 if you're doing double crochet, and we will place 3 more, and I have double crochets, so I will put 3 more half double crochets in there. You will do 3 additional double crochet if you're working double crochet stitch, and we'll go ahead and go along in our journey here. So now I have my third box that I'm working on, or block. Oops, let's do that again. My third, and then we will go ahead and do our 4th one of our periwinkle, or whatever background color that you have chose to use for this project. Alright, so now that I've finished my 4 periwinkle, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need 7 white blocks. So we'll go ahead and pick up the white yarn, and making sure that we keep our working yarn on the wrong side of the work. So we'll continue on and do our 7 white blocks. I hope you all had a wonderful day today. I had a pretty good day today. Even though it's a little cloudy outside, I'm doing all right. Usually this is the time where you want to get up in bed and kind of turn on the television, watch some TV, and just relax. But especially when it's a rainy or a cloudy day. But I like to crochet with some friends. So we'll go ahead and do, this is our 4th box or block. And we have our 5th one. And we'll continue on. Our 5th, our 6th, As you recall, we finished up our pink video ago. We finished up our pink, so we're getting ready to incorporate our gray again. All right, so we have our 7 white blocks. I'm gonna move this white on the other side here so it won't cause interference. All right, so we need 1, 2, 3, 4 gray blocks, and as you can see, I have gray yarn that's attached here. So I want to make sure that I have the right yarn because I have strings or strands. Okay, so I'll just start with this one. This is actually loose yarn that I had to previously cut, remembering to leave a little bit of a tail on the end. Slip stitch, kind of tighten it down a little bit. So I move it over and work over the yarn or the tail as you're working the project. I kind of tighten it or cinch it in a little bit. Pull on that. Now if you like, you can go ahead and still work over the yarn as you continue your project, even though we know we need 4 gray, and I want to make sure that that looks okay on the front end, and that looks pretty good. So I'm gonna continue on. I'll drop the tail and just continue with the block. So we have a little bit more here. So we have that 4. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this behind and I'm going to pick up this one, because it's already attached to the work, and I'll just go ahead and just incorporate it. Into the project. So there we go. That's that. Now that I've incorporated my 4 or crocheted on my 4 blocks, I will go up here and I see that I need 3 white blocks. So now that I know I have to move the work down, I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail on that, and I'm going to snip that. Move the white here, and I need 3 white blocks. I'll work over the yarn to make sure that I have it right where I need it to be. And then I'll pull just for security purposes. Then I'll just go ahead and work over that tail, right over that post, and keep going. And because I am coming right into the white block that where I cut it, I'm just going to pull both of those strings up and I'll work right over the both of them. Making sure I pull this to the back so the tails will stay in the back of or the wrong side of the project. And then we have one more. So we have one more white. And making sure that we are placing it when we wrap the yarn around the yarn, and we're placing it under that post. So pull it and go right into that post. So we have our 4. No, actually I did one too many. See, that's when I said I go too far. I need only 3. So I'm gonna back that up. Getting ahead of myself again. But that's okay. Good thing I caught that when I did. Alright, so we have our 3. I gotta learn to keep my pen on this side. So we have one gray that we need to attach there. So we'll go ahead and incorporate that gray. And crochet that gray block. And when it looks like it don't make sense to you, like it looks kind of wonky because you're looking at it at the picture and you're like, this is not lining up right. I've done that quite a few times. Just block it out of your mind because you will confuse yourself, which I have done. So it's easier just to go ahead and just work the project and not confuse yourself as much as, try not to confuse yourself as much as possible. All right. Now that I have this, I need more white. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave that to the back. I know that the rabbit is going to need some white, more white as far as the face and the upper part of the second ear. So I'm going to pull out quite a bit. And I'll go ahead and work this because this is the other side, or the innermost part of the ear. This center piece right here, because it's going to weave right on into the rest of the face. And I need just one. And I know what I'm going to do, because I know I'm going to need the gray. I'm going to weave my gray in and carry it along with me. So leave a good enough tail of the white, and I'm going to work it over both the white and the gray at the same time. I'm going to pull the gray and then pull this white so it doesn't interfere with the project on the front end, and it does. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this again. You have to place it just right in order for it not to interfere with the color on the front side. So let me do this again. I'm going to leave the gray in the back. Put the white. And then pull it through. And there we go. Let's see if that way works better. Leaving the gray in the back of the work and the white in the front of the work, where it doesn't look like it is out of sync. There you go. So you have a better look of it. There we go. Pull this white in the back. And then we need one gray and then two whites. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and still carry this gray with me. Because I'm trying to keep it where I do not have to cut so much. Because the little pieces sometimes, you know, if you don't leave the string long enough to weave it in, it'll kind of peek through. And that's what you're trying not to do. You're trying not to have it peeking through if you can. Sometimes it'll work out for you. And see, I don't want the gray to show through, which is not, so that's a good thing. So we have our one gray, and then we have our two white blocks, and then now we need this one periwinkle. And actually, that worked out great because that was the end of my gray. So that worked out perfectly, and I have to add some more gray anyway. Just trying to minimize as much weaving as possible. It's not always be successful, but if you can, that's a win for you. So as you can see that it's a clean cut. It's not anything that's going to interfere. You don't see any strings hanging out. So it's nice and clean. And I hope that you can see that pretty well. All right. So we finished up row 39. So now we're on row 40. We need one periwinkle, and then we'll need two white blocks. So one periwinkle. Again, I'm going to slip stitch on the edging to my post, and then I'll count 2 for double half crochet, and there we go. And then we are going to need two gray, two white, I'm so sorry. 2 white. I picked up the gray so I could carry it right along with me. So 2 white. And then I'll carry it again. 2 white. And it's weaving it in as you go along. That's why I'm carrying it with me. And if you don't feel comfortable and it doesn't quite work out for you, don't worry about it. It's okay to cut and just piece the yarn in as you go along, but it's just that when you carry it along, it eliminates as much threatened at the end of the project, and you won't be like, oh, I have all these strings that I gotta cut. So that is the reason why I do that. But if it's not working out for you, don't get frustrated. Do what's comfortable for you, because it takes a lot of practice. Trust me, I didn't get this overnight. I had to work a lot of projects in order to figure out what works for me. So now that we have completed R2, and I'm just kind of reading ahead, but I'll show you what I just did. Try to keep that. We have the one gray, which I have worked the one gray block. So now we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So we need 13 white blocks. So we'll go ahead and start our 13 blocks down. Again, we're working underneath that post. And underneath the post of the bar or the block from the row underneath as we go along. That pink really sets it off, and it makes you feel really good to see the project coming along just fine. And I'm hoping that you are seeing it develop before your eyes now, and be proud of your work. It's an accomplishment. It may, seem like, oh, this is easy, but it can be kind of tricky too. It can be very, very tricky. I'm trying to keep this from getting tangled if I can. So we're gonna keep going. And sometimes I do a picture match, meaning I check the picture against the project to see if it's lining up, and you can spot any mistakes like right away. Right away. But we're going to continue on here. Grab that already. Slip stitch. This is going to be our 6th block. And this is number 7. Okay. This is from another pile here that I have. And like I said before, I usually put these in like yarn balls to make it a lot easier, but even then they can still get tangled. So It's just all in the tasking of trying to keep it from getting tangled as you go. It might be a little bit more time consuming, but it's beneficial at the end because it'll keep you from getting frustrated with your work. We're gonna keep going right on down the line here. Now always remember is that block that's right beneath that we're going into from the row below. And so we have here 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then this is 11. And 12. And one more, make 13. All right. So, and we have 5 boxes left, and we should have 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we have 4 boxes left for the row. Remember, when we're decreasing, we'll have more boxes left at the end. So we have 5 boxes, but we're going to have 4 to finish out this row because we are on the decrease. I'm sorry. So I'm meant to pick up this periwinkle. I'm going to go ahead and finish out with our periwinkle. All right. So we getting ready, look like here, getting ready to start on the eye. How exciting. Almost finished here with this row. This is our 3rd block. And remember, we're going to go into that post from the block below or the row below, slip stitch and chain. And here we go. We're almost finished with row 40. And slip stitch, that will end row 40. All right. So it is filling in nicely. Now 41, we will need to have 3 periwinkles. So we'll start out with 3 periwinkles. Turn the work around. Okay. Get that from not being tangled up in there. Yay. So we'll have a slip stitch up the edging of the work, 3, and then the 4th one goes underneath that post and chain, and then complete the other 3 stitches, whether it's a half double crochet or double crochet, whichever method that you have chose to use. And we're going to do number 2. And then number 3. And the 3rd block. Oops. Trying to get it. 1, 2. This is our 3rd one and our 4th one. So we have our 3 blocks. Put this yarn over here so it'll stay out of the way. Now, I know I'm about to run out of yarn here, but let's go ahead and do 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I need 4 white blocks. Well, you know what? I'm not even going to start. I'm just going to use the other end of this yarn here. If I can now. There we go. If I can find the other end. There we go. So I'm just going to use the other end because we're going to be going over it a little bit. It's up here, so I'm not going to worry about trying to cut it right away. So we'll go ahead and put that underneath there. 1, 2, and that's our 3rd post. Pull that a little bit. And our 4th stitch there. And then we'll just go right on up 3 more times. And then this is our 3rd one. And then this is number 4. So we have our 4 white blocks. So I'm going to put this work behind over here. And we're going to count. We just need 1 black block here. So we'll go ahead and incorporate. Yeah, I think I'm going to carry it with me. So we'll go ahead and incorporate the black block. We'll pull on that white and pull on that black a little bit. Pull a little bit of the black out so it won't be so hard to, it won't be snugging or tugging, playing tug of war with me. Now that we have the black, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we need 8 white blocks. So we'll go ahead and let's see how this is going to work out before I go. Sometimes carrying the work, oh, it did. It worked out perfectly. Okay, so we'll go ahead and continue on. All right, and have our second block. Our third. Okay. And this is our fourth. Fifth. And our sixth. Oops. And 7. And then one more. There we go. And then number 8. And then we can move on to our next color. All right, so we have 8. Then we need 1 gray. So we'll go ahead and put that 1 gray here. All right. Great. All right, so we have our 1 gray. Then we need 2 white blocks. Move this gray over to the side. Do our 2 white blocks. Let's see, there's our first block. And this is our second block. And because we have 2 blocks left in the row, we know that we need only 1 periwinkle to finish out the row, because it is a part of our background. As we can see right up here, there is that 1 periwinkle. And we have completed row 41. At this point, we'll go ahead and slip stitch and flip our work over. Now this is where it can get a little sticky with turning it over and then also getting tangled. But for the most part, as you can see, it is coming together quite nicely. Now we're going to start row 42, which is 1 periwinkle. I'm not going to worry about too much of the entanglement right now because I don't want to prolong everything here. So we'll put it in here and then one more into the post. We do our chain and we'll continue on and put our other 3 stitches into this square or block. Okay, now we will need 2 white blocks. So 2 white blocks. Okay, let me see if I can get this out real quick. When I was a kid, I used to do a lot of jigsaw puzzles, and I'm speaking of like 1,500, 2,000, 5,000 piece puzzles. So my dad and I used to work those together when I was a kid, and so I guess tangles or figuring out how something goes had come from working puzzles. So let's see if I can get this through here. So I can get this free. Yeah. And get that through there. Yeah, there we go. Got that. So now I can continue on. So we'll go ahead and do our 2 white blocks. And here's my first block. And then here is my second block. And there we go. So we have the 2 white blocks. All right. So now we need 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we need 4 gray blocks. And then we will be finished with our gray. And the first block, here we go. So the first block. And then I'm not going to worry about trying to, well, I can because it looks like it'll go right through. There we go. Yay. So now I'm going to pick up my white yarn and I'm going to just carry it right along. And make sure that the white yarn along with that post is together, so you can just work right over the yarn and carry it right along with you if you can. If you cannot, it's okay. You don't have to do it this way. You know, if it's difficult to do, it's no problem, because again, like I stated, I had to learn how to do that. And it took me multiple projects to figure out how to get that done. But once I've learned it and became more comfortable with it, then it became a little easier for me to do. The less cuts you made, the stronger your project will be. But I do a lot of tying off as well. If I need to, I will tie it. And sometimes I can use a little bit of fabric glue along with that on the knots whenever I make knots. So you can do that as well. So anything to help your project stay together, that would be awesome. Now we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 white blocks. So we'll go ahead and do our 4 white blocks. And remember, I carry the work right along with me. So I'll just drop the gray and just carry the white. And just go ahead and start working with my white yarn. And we'll go ahead and this is our first one. This is the second one. And we have our third block. And then this is our fourth one. So we have our 4 white blocks. And then we're going to put that off to the side. And we're going to have our 2 black blocks. So we'll just go ahead and pick up the black yarn. And pull that white yarn to make sure it's good and snug. And put that first black block, and then here's our second one going into the post of the block on the previous row. And there we go. Now we have our 2 black blocks. We need 3 white blocks. So I didn't carry the white yarn this time. What I'm going to do is I am going to, oops, if I can get this to cooperate with me. Remember this yarn that was down here previous? I'm just going to snip the other end of it and leave a nice little tail and see there's a knot in it. So let me go ahead and get that knot out. And that right there. And go ahead, slip stitch, and then work over the tail end of the yarn and just work it right on through. Because I know that it's still hooked to the project, is where the black yarn had started. I'm not going to cut it yet until I get towards that end. Then I'll just continue on here. Still working over the tail. Here is the tail of the yarn that I just picked up, and I'm just going to work right on over it. And there, voila. So I know that I'm about to run out. I'm just going to snip it right there in the middle so I don't have to pull it. Now I need three periwinkle to finish out this row. So I'm going to go ahead and pull on out 3 periwinkle. And there's 1. There's 2. It's underneath there. And there's my 3rd one. And this is the end of row 42. And so we have it looking really good here. So now we're going to start row 43. We need 2 periwinkles. A little go ahead up the side here and slip stitch into the stitches, or really the top of the half double crochets is where I'm slip stitching. It's on the very top of each of the half double crochets, and then into the post, and then I'll chain. And I'll do my 2 periwinkles. So 1, and then this is my 2nd one. All right. So now periwinkles getting entangled in this and the black. There we go. So I'll get that out of there. Now the gray, because I am actually completed with the gray, I'm gonna go ahead and snip. It's another gray one that's hooked down here. Yes. I'm gonna go ahead and finish out and pull those away so it doesn't get too entangled with the work. And then you're going to need the white. So I'm going to pull out quite a bit of white just to have a generous amount, because we still got the head of the rabbit. Let's see here. That's the head. Yeah. So I want to make sure that I have enough. I'm just looking at the diagram real quick just to make sure that I will have a generous amount of white yarn. I'll roll it up in a ball later. So now my next is the 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I need 4 white blocks. Make sure I pull those pretty tight. And go ahead and slip stitch that onto my work. And make sure I work over each one. Each of these here, because I have a lot of strings here, a lot of threading. I'm gonna make sure that I weave those in with a daunting needle, but for right now I'll just work over the tail. And I'll make sure I pull this. It's black. I should have been back here. And we're going to continue on. This is our third one. And this is our fourth one. So we have 4 white blocks. Now, after the 4 white blocks, I'm going to count. 1 black, and this will finish our eye. So we'll just put 1 black block right here, and we'll make sure we slip stitch into the top. And I know it's probably kind of hard to see. See if I can do a little better. We're gonna get a better setup. We are, you know how everything begins. You gotta begin humbly. And that's where we just have our humble beginnings here. I usually don't cut these, but because I don't need the black anymore, I'm just gonna leave enough of a tail, and I'll just go ahead and pull that out of the way. Now, I'm gonna continue on with the white. I'm just gonna start on the other end, or the opposite end of the white. Let's do this. Work that underneath here. Pull this down. Okay. So we know we're gonna have to start with the white. I'll just go ahead and pull it on through, and we'll count how many white blocks we need. I'll just get it started here. So we can just continue on with the project. And okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and tighten those up a little bit. And we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we need 10 white blocks. We're just gonna go right on. I already have my first white block. And we're gonna work right over the tail as we go along. Grab that tail, making sure we put it right on top of the post as we are doing work here. And going over and pull through all 3. If you're doing a half double crochet and then double crochet, you will wrap it around after you do your chain of 3, and wrap it around, and then you go through 2 loops, and then you go through 2 more loops. But I'm going through all 3 for half double crochet. It's just my favorite stitch. I do not know why I love that particular stitch. I mean, I can do double crochet, I can do triple crochet, I can do a double, what I call a double crochet, which is like a quadruple crochet. I enjoy doing all of them, but I think it's just my favorite is a half double. Just fell in love with it. So we're just going to continue right on up our project until we have 2 blocks left. So we'll just work on up. And we're getting close. We're getting really close. Like I said, this is just a fun thing for me to do. Corner to corner is, I just enjoy watching a picture develop. I did a corner to corner crochet of a rose, and the rose just came out just so pretty. I did one of a baby girl, and it turned out really nice. So it is a lot of corner to corner that I have done that I really enjoy just so very much. It's just watching it's like watching an old time photo when you go into a dark room and you watch the picture develop, on its own, just a little bit at a time. It's the same thing for me to watch that just happen before my eyes. So we're going to go ahead, and we have one more left. All right. So if we count, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. And then we need 1. Now let's put this pen back over here. 1 periwinkle. And this will complete row 43. And this will complete our video for today. I'm hoping that you're enjoying this. I know it's a it doesn't seem like a big project, but it is um, I won't say a challenge, but it's kind of tricky when you're having to do 2 and 3 and 4 colors and incorporating these colors into the project as you work along. But as you can see, that the ear is almost finished. We have the eye of the bunny rabbit now. We have all the full lower body of the bunny. The one ear is complete. We need to finish up the second ear, which we will be doing that in the next video, and possibly along with the ear and the rest of the nose and face of the rabbit, and then we'll finish out the project with just the one color. But I'm hoping that you're enjoying this. I am enjoying this. This is just a thrill to me. This is just something that I just really, really love doing, and I'm hoping that you enjoy it as well. In the meantime, thank you so much for crocheting with me. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.